What's up, y'all, and welcome to our first ever live pre-show for Commencement. I'm Rayshawn, your host, and today we have a jam-packed show right before the graduation ceremony begins. And joining me for our first guest ever for this show is Mr. Ralph Turner. How's it going?
Going well. How are you?
Thank you so much for being here.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
You are our keynote speaker.
Yes.
Just off the bat, could you give us a little bit of a sneak peek for what's in store for your speech?
A sneak peek. So you hear a little bit about my background, my why. They'll understand what I mean when I say understand your why. We'll talk a little bit about getting through troubled times. We'll talk a little bit about moving forward, not letting things get in your way. We even hit on the political climate a little bit. But there's something in store for everyone, so it'll be a good time.
I'm excited to listen. And what advice would you give to our graduates who are about to enter into the workforce?
Be ready for tough times. Spending 21 years in the military, people always ask, what do you learn in the military? And it was really just discipline to get through the tough times, because they do end. And most of the time, they come out strong on the other side. So just to be ready for the tough times, and they'll hear how I got through some of mine. So
okay.
Yeah.
And just as president of WellStar MCG Health, how do the health system support our future healthcare leaders, especially those who are graduating and probably have been connected with the health system in some capacity?
Oh man, so first and foremost, jobs. We can put everybody graduating today to work because we are constantly growing our footprint. WellStar Columbia County Hospital, we are hiring for that now. But even before they get into the job market, helping them learn their craft. Coming here and partnering with the School of Nursing, the School of Allied Health Sciences, the Medical College of Georgia, the Dental College, they all produce great practitioners. And we have to provide that platform for them to practice a skill while they have someone there who is experienced and can show them the right way to do things before they get out there in the standalone practice. So we love partnering with the schools to help grow our own.
And especially with the graduate ceremony, you'll probably be getting a bunch of our graduates.
Yes. Oh, they're gonna hear from me. I'm gonna talk to them. I will definitely talk to them. Absolutely.
And just going back to when you graduated, what would you say is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received around the time you were graduating?
So never was I a traditional student.
Okay.
From bachelor's to 2 masters and a doctorate, I've always worked and gone to school at the same time. Probably the best piece of advice that I received when I was going through my programs was what I just said. One of my professors in one of my master's programs, he told me that. He said, all education ends. Education ends, but learning does not. Keep learning, keep growing, and it will make you a better leader as you take on responsibility. So that's probably the best piece of advice I could give them. Keep growing, keep learning, and it will make you evolve as either whatever you wish to be. If you want to be a great researcher, if you want to be a great leader, if you want to run a hospital someday, you have to keep learning. You have to keep evolving.
Yeah, I 100% agree of the importance of being a lifelong learner, because it definitely does keep you open-minded, keep you fresh on your skills, and so many other things.
Yes.
So I guess to kind of go on the opposite side of the spectrum with another one of my questions, what was some of the worst advice you've ever been given, like career advice? What was something that you look back at and you're like, I'm so glad I did not listen to that?
That is a great question, because most of the time I didn't listen to it. Probably the most profound thing that sticks in my mind when it comes to advice that I didn't listen to, it was more of a comparative.
Okay.
So when I was young in the Army and trying to determine if I was going to stay in and try and advance my career, get out, I worked for 2 different bosses. And one boss I worked with, I was saying to myself, man, that's just what I want to be like one day. And the other boss I worked with, I said to myself, if I got to listen to him, I might as well go and do what I have to do to be in his place so I can make decisions, because I can make them a lot better than he making. And that led me to go to Warrant Officer Candidate School, become a Warrant Officer in the United States Army, and then lead clinical engineering department. So it was more of me advising myself of that's what I don't want to be like. That's who I'd like to be like. So having two mentors on two totally different ends of the spectrum and being able to figure out which one I wanted to follow. And that led me sort of to where I'm sitting today. So.
And going off of that, what would you say are some of the key similarities from, I guess, being involved in the military to being president of a health system?
That same thing, discipline. If we go through some tough times in healthcare, Hurricane Helene, when that hit us, we had to understand exactly what we had to do to keep 478 souls in our facility viable and thriving to heal, and not let the external environment impact our healing process. 4 weeks later, we were rolling out a brand new electronic health system that hadn't happened in 25 years. So we had to evolve our people to, okay, now you got to stop thinking about what's just happened with the devastation that just hit Augusta, Georgia, and your home may have a tree sitting across the top of it, but we need to now focus on how we're going to roll out this new patient healthcare record. So, and then there's just the daily challenges. You'll be amazed at what comes. Sometimes things happen to make you just say, wow, you can't make this up. And I have it on a daily basis, but I took the jobs I had to get the job I wanted, which is where I'm sitting in now, and it prepared me for the challenges that I deal with on a daily basis now. So it's been a great journey. Wouldn't change it for anything.
I love that, and thank you so much for being here. For those watching, stay tuned. We got some more guests coming up. Can't wait to hear your keynote speech. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
All right, y'all, we are back, and we have our second guest, who is our graduate commencement student speaker. So give a warm general welcome to Churchill Ezewokankwo. Churchill, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And congratulations on one, graduating, but two, being selected as our graduate student speaker.
Thanks. It is definitely. Sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It's definitely an honor.
Yeah. As a former student athlete, but also as someone who's been a key part with just AU athletics, can you talk a little bit about your journey here at AU? My
journey here has been a little bit non-traditional, I'd say. I've always wanted to be a part of something greater than myself, but I didn't exactly know how that would be until I stepped foot here. So originally, my first year here, I was a student athlete just trying to finish off my collegiate career as a track and field athlete. Then after that, I pretty much rolled into the role of a coach. Apparently I was always the coach that was an athlete at the same time. I was always the athlete that knew what to do, and I was telling people, okay, well, this is how you do this drill, or this is how you do that, and so forth. So I always wanted to make sure that if I was given that responsibility, I made sure that I took care of it with the best way that I could. Like, I wanted to inspire kids to be better than they think they could originally. Like, I wanted to help my athletes. As much as I yell at them, I wanted to help my athletes to be the best version of themselves.
I love that. And it's also kind of hard for me to see you as yelling, because you seem to be a little soft-spoken, so I'm interested to see you as a coach. And I guess talking a little bit more about your part here of the program today, can you give us a little bit of the inspiration behind you developing your portion of tonight's program?
A big part of pretty much me developing my portion was the need to let others know that they have a purpose. Everybody likes to say that they have a purpose, but they don't know exactly what it is, or that their purpose isn't as great as everyone else's. But my message is that you do have a purpose. And although it may take you a little bit longer, a little bit less than someone else to find their purpose, you definitely have one. I would say that I have a survival guide in my speech, pretty much, to guide people to their purpose.
I'm looking forward to hearing that as well. And I guess just in general, how has it been working with AU Athletics? Because obviously you've been there a number of years and had different perspectives as student athlete, but also a coach. You also create content.
Yes.
So you do a little bit of everything, got like a very well-rounded perspective. So I guess, how has that kind of shaped your experience here as well?
It's definitely filled my days.
Okay.
It's definitely filled my days. I mean, I live the life of 3 people in one day usually. Like, the latest I get up is probably 7:05, and that's to get ready for practice. Sometimes I'll probably stay up as late as 2 a.m. to just work on practice schedules for the next week or two, or just finish an edit from a basketball game that just finished that I have to post the next morning. It's been an amazing experience, I'd say that. Ryan Urlacher, he was my previous athletic director at Clayton State University, so seeing him
nice.
here, yeah, like it was...
Small world.
Small world, the smallest world. Like, having him to come here, my first year here, it was definitely a familiar face that I'd love to see, especially working with Khadijah Dickens and Jacob Bergman as well. Like, they welcomed me with open arms. So the whole athletic department, they've been really, really amazing, I would say. I mean, whether I was a student, athlete, or a coach, or even just a content creator, like, they've been really, really welcoming to me, and I'm grateful for it.
And how did you balance all of that? Because like I said, you had a bunch of different perspectives, a bunch of different hats you're wearing. Like, how did you balance all of that?
A lot of alarms and 2 versions of calendars.
Okay.
But I like to center myself. I like to find time to center myself, because there was a time, like probably my second year here, where it was a lot. I ended up being in the hospital a little bit for that, because I couldn't balance those worlds that I was taking on. So my realization is that everybody needs a break. Sometimes, even if it's just 5 minutes out the day, taking that time for yourself and making sure that your mental is taken care of before anything else.
I love that. And just for us to wrap up here, what has been your all-time favorite memory here at AU?
I think that, and this is really, really hard to choose, but I think that my all-time favorite memory at AU was the end of my collegiate career. I was at the athletic banquet, and it felt weird because I was closing one chapter of my life as an athlete, but I didn't even know that I would open another one as a coach. But the people that were supporting me in that moment, Coach Bergamy, Ryan, and everyone else in the athletic department, especially my teammates at the time as well, like, they really, really helped me to know that this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of something beautiful.
I love that. Just, I guess, any final thoughts or fellow advice for your fellow graduates?
My advice to my fellow graduates would be, your purpose will always lead you where you need to be. You'll never have to worry about where you are, or, I mean, who thinks about where you are. Like, your purpose will always guide you to where you need to be. So always trust that you're exactly where you need to be at the exact right time.
I love that. Thank you so much, Churchill, for talking to us. And for those watching, stay tuned. We got a little more stuff coming when we come back. Tiffany Johnson, who is not only an AU alumna, she's a double JAG, and she is faculty as well in the College of Allied Health Sciences. So welcome, Stephanie, to In the Wild, even though we are at the Augusta Marriott.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So as an employee, as well as an alumna, like, what keeps you connected to JAG Nation?
Yeah, you know, so I have been a part of the enterprise in May of next year for 20 years. So either as a student twice, like you mentioned, faculty, or full-time healthcare provider at the hospital. And so I think keeping connection is the people. I am a people person, and there have been so many people along the way who have invested in me and who have been a part of my journey. And I feel like I have a family here at AU. The OT department that I'm a part of, I love our college. A little preference, but I think we're the best college at AU.
It's okay to be biased.
Is it? Okay, good, because that's definitely very biased. But it's just, it really is like a family, and that those are the people that invested me and who mentor me, and that's really what keeps me connected. And now I'm faculty, and so I want to give back to keep our students engaged and connected as well, and continue to invest in them as others have invested in me. So it's really the people Yeah.
I love that. And I kind of feel the same. I'm not a double jack like you, so I need to get on your level. But definitely it is the people that make you want to stay here. And why would you say it's important for our new graduates who are about to walk across the stage tonight to stay involved with AU after they graduate?
Yeah, because we need to have that support and that investment. And you know, one day maybe they're able to invest in someone else and help build the path and help guide someone else on a path. But I think just being able to give back to a community that's invested so much in you as a graduate, but also staying connected as Mr. Turner was talking about, just that lifelong learning, because as you stay connected, I never thought I would have been a double graduate, but it was through the connections and people encouraging me to push myself that I became that double graduate. And so I think that's just a really important piece, is having that relationship and just being able to stay engaged, because you never know where you'll end up and people are going to push you a little beyond where you thought you could be.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for those who are unfamiliar, like what are some programs or opportunities that alumni get to experience once they become official alums?
Yeah, so yes, our graduates tonight, congratulations, we're excited, so I'm excited for you, but we have our Alumni Association that you can become connected with. Making sure your email is up to date is huge for that. We also are, they're active, all the colleges on social media, you know, so if it's Facebook or Instagram, definitely follow your college or your department there. We also have our Alumni Weekend, which is April 25th, 26th, and 27th in this coming year, and it's a fantastic opportunity to come back, go to various events, and just really connect with old friends, continued friends that you see maybe on a daily basis, but then meet new people and network as well. So I think between the social media, your email, and all the different events, those are definitely ways to stay engaged. But also, if you ever become financially able, being able to give back is important as well as an alumni, and I know I do as an alumni. And so there's campaigns that occur throughout the year, but also that you can give on any time. And so I think just being able to know that you're investing not only in yourself through networking and connections, but also investing in our future students by financially giving. If you come to that point in your life, I'd really encourage our graduates tonight and tomorrow to think about that as well.
So there's a bunch of ways, is what you're saying.
There's so many ways, yes.
Alumni Weekend is definitely one of my favorite events of the year. Like you mentioned, just being able to meet new people, connect with people that you haven't seen in a while. Like my friend group has definitely made that just like a tradition for ourselves of like, yep, each year we know to be in Augusta during this weekend to have fun at the events, but also just catching up on other things. So it's definitely a perfect time to reconvene.
It really is.
So what would you say is one of your favorite just traditions or events as an alum?
Ooh, I mean, it is Alumni Weekend.
Okay.
It's just such a good weekend, but you know, like you said, to be able to connect and to just see people again. But I also, another thing that I really enjoy is just being able to serve. So another way to connect and to give back is serving on different alumni boards. So that's a really important piece for me, to be able to just to serve. And so I am on the alumni board for our college, but also the departmental alumni board for our department within OT. And so I think that's really important, to just be able to serve and hopefully be able to shape the future of events and things that are going on for alumni. And so that's a great way to have your voice be heard, is by being a part of that and serving in those capacities as well.
And thank you for all of the ways that you're serving our students, our fellow alums, our new graduates. Do you have any, I guess, final thoughts or pieces of advice for those who are about to walk across the stage this evening?
Yeah, you know, so I said I was a people person earlier, and we are in the people business. So what I mean is, no matter what you're graduating with tonight, whether it's healthcare, or education, or a PhD in research, or cyber, remember, at the end of the day, it's all about people, because behind every curtain in the hospital room, behind every desk, behind every data set, behind every algorithm, people are there, or people are going to be impacted. So always remember that it's about Mrs. Jones or about Corey, but about the people, and then show up when you go to your job, but not just show up, but do it with excellence and integrity and compassion and love, because ultimately we're all in the people business.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for being here. And as y'all can hear behind me, probably the music's starting to play, so we are right about to begin our first ever, well, not first ever, this is our first ever pre-show. We're about to begin our graduate ceremony. So thanks again to Stephanie, and for all of y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you guys again tomorrow morning, because we'll be back for our undergraduate ceremony, and until then, go Jags!